Woohoo! We are here. You right, mate?
Good evening. How are we doing?
I'm very well, my friend. How about you?
I'm okay. It's a lovely sunny Sunday evening down here in glorious Devon, but there is nowhere I would rather be than the south of Spain. But if I was going to be somewhere second, it would be in this quiz here with you.
Oh, well, I'll take that every day of the week, mate. And hello to everyone. When we started these little jovial hellos, we had nobody watching, but now we've got 8 at least. So say hello if you're around. Stick a comment in the comments and say hey. As per usual, we'll just chat nonsense until 8 o'clock. Then we'll go through the rules, and then we'll start the quiz proper at 5 past. I've got some very on the rails rounds for you this week, Rob. I'll tell you all about it in a minute.
Somewhat rounds. I think
on the rails. I think they're good questions, but they're very structured because I'll tell you when we get to it. But it's been a week. It's been a crazy week, guys. We've got some hellos: Adam, Lee, Martin, Stephen, Richard. Hello, guys. How are you? Yeah, Richard, I'm well aware how fuzzy my video is. Unfortunately, I live in the middle of nowhere with terrible internet. Look who's driving the train.
Oh, don't encourage him.
I've got a catchphrase.
Thank you. No, it's not your catchphrase, is it? You've stolen it from Hawk 28 years ago.
It's Legion of Doom Road Warrior appropriation. I feel like it's fine. I feel like it's okay. Scott, how you doing, mate? How's it going? I feel like it's okay. Yeah, sorry, I've got the fuzzy video, guys. I don't know how to, there's no way of me correcting it. It's purely down to my bandwidth. It looks clear as a bell when I'm looking at it now, but obviously something gets lost in translation as we go. Chris, Patrick, how you doing, guys? Good evening to you. We're going to get kicking off in about 3 minutes. Chris is lurking in the background, ready for your scores and everything as well, guys. He is watching the end of dedication, right? He's a big Southampton fan, is Hatch, and he is currently watching his team play Man City. So he's trying to do both jobs tonight. He's trying to keep one eye on the footy and one eye on this. So if he comes on all jovial first time round, and then the second time you see him, he's all miffed and pissed off, it's because Man City have equalised. So
I'm sure he's delighted that the small amount of time that he has before he has to do any work tonight is half time. So he's actually bored right now doing nothing. And as soon as your answers start flowing into him, it's going to be into the second half. And
we've timed that one incredibly, haven't we? So William, Ryan, George, hello, guys. Hey, Leanne, how you doing? We're just going to count down a couple more minutes until we kick off. Has anyone not played with us yet? Obviously, I recognise most of the names. Is this anyone's first week? If so, say hey in the comments, and we'll make sure we go through the rules in absolute thorough detail. I've got a new cat, Rob.
I thought you were going to say catchphrase then. And I thought I can't believe you're going to go down that again. No, I know you've got a cat. You've been talking about it all week to me. So
he's in the room. He's come back today. He's come in the house today. His name is Dizzy, and he came straight in. He's took one leap behind the sofa, which is next to me now, and he's stayed there all day. Bless him. He's still getting used to the house. Yeah, he's not moved. He's letting us stroke him, and he's not all timid and scared and jumpy, but he is adamantly staying where he is. He's not been to his litter tray. He's not had any food yet. He's just very, very still. So
bless him. How old is he?
He is 9 months old. He is beautiful. He is a lovely little cat.
I don't know anything about cats. Is that apart from that, I know more about the musical. But I don't know about the animals. Is that the earliest you're allowed to get them? Is it?
No, you can get them from birth, but it's basically a teenager. He's a 12-year-old, so no wonder he's hiding behind there. He's getting all surly. George wants Chris Hatch to sing Ya Ya Ding Dong one week. If Chris sings that, my only stipulation is I get to join in. Sarah approves of both of those ideas. So maybe we will have a Eurovision special one week. Rob would have to actually watch a film to get that reference. The last film Rob watched was when the UK won Eurovision, and I think it was Armageddon or something like that he watched from the cinema.
Well, that would be interesting to know about. That's probably about the time frame. I think we last won Eurovision in, I believe, 1997, which was
97 is correct. Yeah,
Katrina and the Waves was the last time.
That's the one. Love Shine a Light, guys. It is 8 o'clock. So let's quickly run through the rules. Thank you all. First of all, thank you all for coming to our Sunday night quiz. Rob, this must be our 11th or 12th now.
Yeah, easy.
And we've still got people turning up, which is quite nice. Guys, so just to let you know, if you've not played before, it's 20 questions. How it's going to work, I set 10 of them, Rob sets 10 of them. We'll ask them via this live stream here. And then Rob, if I'm asking, we'll leave a little pause for you guys to submit your answers. Then after that, after maybe a minute, Rob will give the answer. Obviously, it's vice versa if Rob's setting the questions. How do you submit your answers? You submit them via direct message to our Facebook page. So anybody who's played it before, or if you haven't, maybe try testing that now that you're able to do that. Send us a quick hello by direct message, and Chris will send the customary thumbs up to let you know he's got it and he's receiving. So when you answer a question, it is by direct message. Don't put anything in the comments. Okay, guys? Not anything in the public comments, because then everybody will be able to see. You score points. You get 1 point per correct answer. Obviously, we also give out bonus points. The quickest 3 to answer each question gets 1 bonus point. So the first 3 to come in with a correct answer gets a bonus point. After every 5 questions, we'll go through the answers, and Chris will also come along and give us our bonus points. And so you can keep a tally yourself, and then gives your scores at the end. We will check the winning scores to make sure you're kosher and above board, because we've got a record, obviously. But otherwise, we expect you guys to just keep a solo record. Just a couple of little pointers on submitting the answers. First of all, when you submit an answer, give us a question number as well, just to make life easier for Chris when he's tallying up. So, it's question 1, answer, question 2, answer, question 3, answer, and so on and so forth. Importantly, only your first answer will count. So if you put an answer in, realize you got it wrong, don't bother resubmitting, because we won't accept it. It's 1 attempt only. Okay, guys? That's pretty much it. I ask you this every week, but Rob, do you think I've nailed everything there? Have I hit all the points, or have I missed anything?
No, I think it all sounded good. The thing what happens is every week you ask me that, and then I do the same every week, which is reiterate the point about sending in the answers via the DMs, because that's probably the most important piece of info that we need to give out, and it's something that someone every week does transgress, or they're almost always very apologetic for it afterwards. Turns out they've just arrived a little bit later than everybody else.
It doesn't matter at all.
And it doesn't matter. We don't get mad, but we only let you do it once, and then we start to get a little bit rowdy about it. But yes,
we're not angry. We're disappointed.
We're just disappointed. You've let yourself down, and you've let everyone down. No, it doesn't matter. It's bound to happen. Someone will do it every week. But what I like is it's starting to become a bit self-policing, and everyone else in the comments starts shouting at the person for doing it. But yeah, so make sure you send it to the comments. And as Paul said, the key thing is to check it now. This is the whole. Don't order the pay-per-view 1 minute before the pay-per-view starts, just in case you don't hit the right buttons. Remember, in the old days, always order it a little bit earlier to make sure about it. So that's one of these. So make sure, and Chris will give you a thumbs up, as Paul said. Chris likes giving you a thumbs up, so he'll be happy to do that.
There you go. Speaking of Chris,
underway.
Speaking of Chris, we haven't decided which of us is going first this week. So, Chris, have you got? You decide, Chris. Thumbs up for me going first. Thumbs down for Rob going first, because I can see Chris and nobody else can. He's got the thumb up, so I'm going first. I'm going to have my first 5, and then are we alternating this time?
That clearly means he thinks my questions are better and wants me to round things off. So, okay.
Get you. Just a couple of quick hellos to some latecomers. Mick, Chris, how you doing? Promise we won't spoil anything tonight, guys. We've got 2 more minutes before we start. We do like to make sure we do keep to the 5 past, because we advertise that, so we don't want anyone coming in
absolutely
4 minutes past and getting rightfully annoyed that we've started a bit early. It's like the train setting off a minute early from the platform, isn't it? That's highly irregular.
What are you going to give us any clues about your rounds tonight? Are you going to give us any topics?
Mate. Or... Well, I've got, like I say, I've got 2 distinct topics that I will give you when we get started at 5 past. So not difficult themes. Basically, what I was trying to say earlier is I've had very little time to think of questions today. And what I like to do is be a bit abstract normally. And
You've had a week.
Yeah, because I just sit around most of the week, don't I?
I wrote mine Thursday.
Well, that's good for you. So I normally do little abstract bits and pieces, pull it in from all over and like to have a little think. But today I've just had to set myself a theme and a rule, and then put questions around that just to make things easy for myself. Mark, good evening, my friend. Don't make the questions any less good. It just keeps them structured. And unfortunately, if you're not particularly good at one of those rounds, then you are going to be up shite alley. as it were, without a waders. So right, it's 5 past. Let's kick off, shall we?
I just want to show, because Will Kitchens mentioned my shirt, and every week I explain that I'm wearing some sort of piece of wrestling memorabilia. And of course, it was Canada Day in the week and this gentleman's birthday. Nice. So the only right thing to do was get the old Hitman shirt on, and I don't know if I can get far enough away to show you the back, but it was from the old PSI events tour that we did with Bret. Nice. So it's we're rocking the Bret Hart stuff tonight.
You do realise Canada Day used to be the 15th of November until they changed it to tally with Bret's birthday week.
Probably. I genuinely didn't know that Canada Day was one day and Bret's birthday was the following one. So very cool thing to know from now on.
There you go. Right, guys. So what was I going to say? So, firstly, the theme of my round, that would help, wouldn't it? So these.
Are you going to tell us? Okay, cool.
Of course I am. Yeah. So the theme of this round is missing Survivor Series team members. So I did a round on our Beat the Clock quiz on the website this week where it was odd one out. So I gave you a list of 6 survivors. I gave you a Survivor Series team from years gone by with 1 extra member, and you had to tell me who the odd one out was, who wasn't on that team. I'm going the opposite this time. I'm going to give you a team missing 1 member, and you have to give me. I'll give you the year, and I'll give you the team. And you have to tell me the missing guy. Okay, is that clear to everyone? So,
do you know how many of them I got right on the website?
3, 2, 1.
None.
None.
I hate Survivor Series. It's the worst pay-per-view they have. I've never enjoyed it. Never liked it. Don't go back and watch the old ones. So I don't know anything about Survivor Series. So I'm going to be knackered here.
Well, you've cheered me up no end, Rob.
I mean, I understand the rules. As Adam has just said, the website difficult was.
Do you know what? It was, Adam.
I got 5 out of 20 this week on the website.
The scores all around are really low this week, and I apologise for that because it didn't feel any more difficult to me. I didn't deliberately make it any more difficult, but for some reason I must have just been really arsey when I did it. So apologies. Hopefully, normal service resume next week, but. We'll see. So, guys, right, question 1. So, question 1, remember, send your answers in via direct message. Rob will give you a bit of time to answer. But question 1.
Because he won't know.
It's a team from 1991, okay? It's a team from 1991. And the 3 team members I'm going to give you, remember, I want the missing team member. So, the 3 members are Ric Flair, Ted DiBiase, and the Warlord. Ric Flair, Ted DiBiase, the Warlord.
Oh, you changed it the second time. I was just about to say, I like how you say Ted's surname.
I can't bloody say it.
You say DiBiase.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
DiBiase. Perhaps you're right in how it should be, but
it's better than Diabasi.
To be fair, I saw the name written down before I had ever heard it said.
I love wrestling. I love wrestling mispronunciations. You do one, sorry, go on.
I thought it was DeBasey.
DeBasey.
Well, not for years, but for months. Because I think I had an annual. I had a WWF annual when I was 8 or whatever it was when I started watching wrestling, and I only knew him as the $1 Million Man. And then this annual of mine started saying Ted DiBiase, and I didn't know who it was.
Fair enough.
You were going to say I do one. What do I do?
One. I can't bloody remember now. I was just thinking that you do one that I can't remember. I will I'll flag it up if I remember. But Liam Happ, who runs our website, he's got one. He says suplex, and I'm like, I have never heard anyone pronounce it suplex before. But he's adamant that he's right. I'm like, okay, fine.
Well, he's not.
I know.
One of the commentators used to say supplé, didn't they? Who was that?
Did they? I don't know.
I think it was, who did the commentary out of Calgary? Was it Ed Whalen?
Yes, it was.
One of the old. I might be doing him wrong. I don't, or maybe it might even have been Gordon Soley. But one of the old time commentators used to say supplé rather than suplex. If anyone knows that, someone will know that. Our Wikipedia audience will know that, and someone will tell me. Am I allowed to ask what the name of this team is?
As far as I'm aware, there isn't a name. I could be wrong, but they didn't always have team names.
They used to usually have a team name, and sometimes it gave away.
Supplé was Gordon Soley.
Gordon Soley, was it?
Williams says it was Gordon Soley. But anyway, let's have an answer. Let's carry on supplaying this game, and let's get an answer from you, mate.
See, I'm trying to work out who they would have been against, because a lot of the time there was angles going on, wasn't there? It was
there was around that time, yeah.
So sometimes whoever was in the match, like for example, you've got Warlord in there. I would almost be certain that on the other team was British Bulldog, for example, because he was always wrestling Warlord around that era. But I don't know the answer. I'm going to say, because I remember him being associated with Flair towards the start of it, I'm going to say Razor Ramon, but I think I might be.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm going to say Razor because he certainly came in quite hot. But I think I might have the wrong year. Actually, thinking about it, I think I've got the wrong year. But then I have got the wrong year. But anyway, I've said it now.
You've said it, so we're in. So question number 2, guys. Question number 2. We skip forward to 1995, and in 1995, the 3 guys on the team: Bob Holly, Marty Jannetty, Barry Horowitz. Bob Holly, Marty Jannetty, Barry Horowitz. Give me the 4th member.
I remember this match.
And I can give you the team name on this one. I will give you the team names where and when I can. And the 4th man on the team was the Underdogs.
I can remember the match. It's an absolute cracker. It was the first match of the show. And I could pretty much give you the whole of the opposing team, I think.
Go on.
No, I'm not going to, because I don't want to prejudice people's answers just yet. But say them again. So it was Marty, Bob Holly, Barry Horowitz.
Yep. And somebody else. It's great. I'm looking at the answers coming in now, and we're getting loads of correct answers. We're also getting loads of people naming various members of the opposition team, which is quite funny.
I can say I think I can picture the opposition team. At least 3 of them anyway.
Well, we've had pretty much every answer in now, mate, so feel free to answer when you wish.
Okay, well, I'll give a little bit more context. And I think this is right on the heels of heels. I didn't mean that. But it's right on the heels of the 1, 2, 3 kids turn, I think. So I think the team that was against is 1, 2, 3 kids, Skip, Radford, and someone else. I was going to say Sid, but I think Sid comes out to interfere towards the end. I can't for the life of me get who else would have been in this team. I know the match. I can picture. It's a really, really good match. And I just can't think of who else would have been in there.
Well,
is it? So it's the end of 1995. I'm going to try and rattle through in my head through the 1996 Royal Rumble and see if I can pick up a person that might have been in the Rumble, and just use them as a context. But I've got nothing at the moment. This is pretty embarrassing.
Go on, I'll push you.
Yeah, that's what I need. I need a push. I've got nothing. I can't think of an answer. I just can't think of an answer. I know the match, and I can't think of anyone it can be.
Are you literally passing?
I don't know. I cannot think of anybody.
Okay,
from
enough.
From that sort of era that it would be a babyface.
Not that it helps with the answer at all, but the missing name on the opposition team that you couldn't quite get is a pre-body.
Whoa! I might have it.
Go on.
I'm going to say Hakushi.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm going to say Hakushi.
Well, an answer's better than no answer. And the other guy was a pre-body donor, Dr. Tom Pritchard. On the other end, on the other side. So
it was a heavenly body. I think maybe I think it was maybe meant to be both the heavenly bodies, and $1 Million Man bought out one of them.
Right. Okay. So anyway, we are going back to 1988, and this is the tag team Survivor Series match. So I'm not looking for a name of a single person, so I'm looking for the name of a tag team that's missing. Okay. So the team is Demolition, the Fabulous Rougeaus, the Conquistadors, and the Bolsheviks. Which team's missing? Demolition, Fabulous Rougeaus, the Conquistadors, and the Bolsheviks. Which team is missing?
Okay, yeah. So do you remember there was? I've heard a story about that. I'm not quite sure where I heard it. It might well have been on Bruce Pritchard's podcast, but the idea that there was a decent little idea to have a 10v10 tag match until the fact that they all stood on the apron and no one could see the bloody ring because they were all stood all around the outside. So just say them again, please, mate.
Say them again. Demolition, the Fabulous Rougeaus, the Conquistadors, and the Bolsheviks. I'll happily say those names. I could say the Conquistadors all day long, so I can repeat it as much as you like.
Surely it's Los Conquistadors, not the.
Depends which part of Spain you're from.
Okay. Well, they don't say the in many parts of Spain. Gibraltar, possibly.
Right. Gibraltar's premier tag team, the Conquistadors.
It's also not part of Spain. I was being
doesn't matter.
Facetious.
Does not matter.
So it's a heel team of the era. I've got one idea in my head, and I almost feel like I ought to go for it, because if I don't say it and it's wrong, if I don't say it and that's what the answer is, I will feel silly. Okay, I've got my answer. I'm not wholly convinced of it, but because of the ear, I'm not very good on 88 to 91. That's Radio 2, but I'm not very good on 1988 to 1991 in terms of the actual timeline. So I might be saying a team that was on the babyface team, but I think in 1988, the Hart Foundation were a heel team. So I'm going to say the Hart Foundation.
Okie doke. Right. So question number 4, we are going forward, as Martin Richards will be pleased with. We're going forward to 2004. Okay. And it's a 4-man team. The 3 men I'm going to give you are Triple H, Batista, and Edge. Triple H, Batista, and Edge. I want the 4th man on the team, please.
In 2004?
Yes. It's a real weird year, this. It's a very, very easy year to forget. Although, judging by the answers I'm seeing coming in, most people haven't forgotten it.
Okay, so people are getting it right then. Okay. Again, I'm just trying to work out around if any angles that were happening then. So it's 2004. So we've come off of WrestleMania 20. Earlier that year, we're building to 21. So he's 21 the year that. So this is. I think we're into the. We're into the Triple H Batista feud here, aren't we? We're just about to turn. We get there at 21, don't we?
I was going to say, I think you could probably say that it started right after this pay-per-view. You know,
we're starting the tease of it here, aren't we?
This was probably the last one. I don't think there was even a tease. I think this is the last one before there was any sort of tease. I could be wrong, but that's what I remember anyway. I think it was probably like the next night or two that it really started, because it built up to the Elimination Chamber, didn't it? So this was probably the last. I don't remember there being any angle about that at all. He was just a body on the team. Batista, I mean.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't know, right? I don't know the answer. I can't remember. I've got no real reference point to this, so I will have to kind of play a safer ball as I can, because otherwise I'd just be guessing someone on the roster. So I'll play a safer ball. I mean, I don't think you would ask this, but I'll say Ric Flair, because obviously it's an Evolution thing. So I'll just say I think you would think that's too obvious. I think if Ric Flair was the answer, you would ask Triple H, Batista, Ric Flair, and who to get the answer as Edge. But I can't think of anybody, so I'll say Ric Flair.
Okay, Evolution. It's a mystery. Right, question 5, the final one in the block. 2013. Okay, 2013. It's a 5-man team, this one. And the team is Cody Rhodes, Goldust, and the Usos, with one missing member. Cody Rhodes, Goldust, and the Usos, with one missing member.
And also missing a surname. Still Cody is just Cody.
He certainly is.
So where he's going, he doesn't need Rhodes. That's essentially the
all roads lead to WWE.
That's the lesson. Oh, indeed, very good. Touche. No, again, I haven't got a clue. Cody Rhodes. Did you say Cody Rhodes? Who did you say Cody? Who was the second one you said? Did you say Goldust?
Goldust, Cody, and the Usos.
Right, so it's two pairs of brothers there. Why were they 5-man teams around? I don't know. I'm trying to work out if there's anyone that's got any connection with.
They always do 5-man teams now. It was 5 men at first, wasn't it? Then they went to 4 for a good long while, and then it's been 5 again for a while now. Toughest round I've done so far. Yeah, sorry, Martin. I must have been in a tired and bad mood.
Do you know what? I'll tell you what's the issue with this. Is that if you don't know, you're sort of knackered with this. But there's not really a way of working them. I've tried as much as I can to apply a bit of logic, but I just don't know. I think I might have got the Hakushi one right, but other than that, I'm just pissing in the wind. So I don't know.
Let's have an answer.
So 2013.
Yeah.
Kofi Kingston.
Kofi Kingston. Right. Well, that's the end of my block. I love it. Patrick Heafield says both of our jokes were awful, but he's saying that as if our jokes are normally good. Right. So,
mine wasn't awful.
At least we're sticking to the standard.
Yours might have been awful. Mine was. In fact, I don't think it was. I think they were both very good.
I thought that equally stunning examples of comic genius. But moving swiftly on. So we're going to mark this section. So a lot of you will be glad to see the back of this, I think.
Just an answer just coming onto the screen there from I believe Pablo Martinez. Pablo, if you're just tuning in, we appreciate you being around. But if you're sending in your answers, if you could please send them on direct message on the Hooked on Wrestling Facebook page. I appreciate you're watching on YouTube. So we'll delete your comments if we can. But we ask you from now on, if you want to send your answers in, go to facebook.com and find Hooked on Wrestling and send us your answers via that if you wouldn't mind. Thank you very much.
There you go. We will post the link for you, my friend. There you go. I can't actually delete comments from YouTube.
Oh, can you not? Okay, right.
So I can only block users, so I'm not going to delete that, especially since we've given the answers in anyway.
But I don't think he might just be saying his favourite wrestlers, but
exactly. Right, guys, so let's go through the answers. So question 1, I gave you a team in 1991. I gave you Ric Flair, Ted DiBiase, the Warlord. You gave me Razor Ramon, which then knew was wrong, and you're right, because he didn't debut till after SummerSlam 92. Yeah. The answer was, in fact...
I just got my years wrong, and in fact, what I was thinking of, I associated Flair with Ramon, and obviously I'm thinking of the tag match, aren't I?
Yes.
I'm thinking of the Flair and Ramon tag match with the whole Mr. Perfect Savage thing. That's what I'm thinking of.
You're a year ahead. It was the Mountie.
Okay, crikey. I'd have been a very, very long time trying to get that.
Okie doke. So 1995, the underdogs were Bob Holly, Marty Jannetty, Barry Horowitz, and Hakushi.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere. I don't know where that came from, but I just suddenly remembered the match. It's a great, great match.
It was brilliant. Question number 3 was in 1988. It was the tag team 20-man match. It was Demolition, the Fabulous Rougeaus, the Conquistadors, the Bolsheviks, and you said the Hart Foundation. They were in the match, but they were on the other side of the
babyface
ring.
Side, right? Yeah.
They were the 5th team on the heel side were the Brainbusters.
Oh yeah, that's that here,
the
isn't it?
Brainbusters, Arn and Tully.
Arn and Tully.
So, question number 4, bringing it into this side of the millennium. 2004, in fact, Triple H, Batista, Edge, and you were quite right. Ric Flair would have been far too obvious for me. It was Snitsky. Snitsky, yeah.
I'll tell you what, I will give you this. You're making this guess proof. I think I would have been a very, very, very long time before I come up with the Mountie and Snitsky. Arn and Tully I may have got, but well, George in the chat is actually saying he literally guessed the Mountie because he was the heel at the time. But I think that would have been a heck of a guess.
Well, that's a case of one of these things is not like the other. That one, isn't it? That's for sure. But question 5, and again, we'll put this round to bed. We'll go to 2013. It's the brother tag team. Cody Rhodes, Goldust, the Usos, and Rey Mysterio.
Oh, okay.
And they were defeated by the Shield and the All-American is that what they were called? Swagger and Cesaro? Were they the Real Americans or the All-American Americans?
They were the real Americans at the time, weren't they? But
yeah.
Do you know what? Funnily enough, I could have said Ray there because the only reason I went for Kofi is because I needed a babyface.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense.
I'll go for someone who I know has been a babyface basically his entire career. And so I said Kofi, and of course I could have said Ray. It would have been in the same sort of bracket. But there we go.
So you got one there, didn't you?
I did. It was a bloody good one.
It was a good one. But let's bring Chris in. Southampton's still winning, so he'll be in a really good mood now. Let's bring Chris in to give us our bonus points. Hola! Hey, Chris. How you doing, mate?
Very good. You all right?
Yeah, mate. How's the football going?
Yeah, not bad. I mean, we're having to play a flat back 11, but it's all right for a game. So
it's all right. It keeps things interesting, doesn't it, mate? So, what bonus point? Have we got many right answers on this round? Have we done well?
We've got enough to get some bonus points. One we're not going to be too surprised by. Patrick Heafield, 5. George McMenemy, 4. Chris Marden, 2. Will Kitchen, 1. Martin Richards, 1. Stephen Bradley, 1. And Andrew Boland, 1.
Brilliant, brilliant. One more time, please, mate.
Yeah, Patrick Heafield, 5. George McMenemy, 4. Chris Marden, 2. Will Kitchen, 1. Martin Richards, 1. Stephen Bradley, 1. And Andrew Boland, 1.
Splendid. Okay, mate. Thank you for that, guys. You heard all those. So add those to your running totals, and we'll go from there. Chris, enjoy the next few minutes of the footy, and we'll see you soon.
See you in 5.
Yeah, those were the bonus points scored for the first round. So just remember that for the next time, you want to be as quick as you possibly can, and you want to be in that number. That would be the perfect thing
indeed.
For you to get there. So while Chris was talking, Southampton nearly scored. Short back pass, and the keeper just got there before the centre forward. So Southampton nearly went 2-0. He would have gone bonkers then if that would it happened in mid-sentence.
Hooked on Wrestling Sunday quiz. Come for the trivia, stay for the footy.
Well, you can do both. This is the thing in the modern world, you see. It is possible to not have to choose one or the other. You can have the football on while this on. Although I've found, I don't know about you, Paul, we're obviously big football fans, as is Chris and as is a couple of people in the chat. But I've often found there's not a massive wrestling football crossover. I find that wrestling fans on the whole aren't necessarily football fans. It's not a big crossover.
That's why BT Sport was so keen. BT Sport was so keen to get WWE because it's a whole new bunch of subscribers. Technically, they love it for that. Anyway, what have you got for me, mate? Next round.
Yeah, I've got 2 separate rounds. I'm deliberating on which one to do, but I'm going to go for. If you can choose, give me set A or B. Chris knows the difference, so it won't make it difficult for him in terms of in marking them. I just don't know which set to go for, but I'll let you choose.
Well, let's keep it traditional. Give me A.
Okay, you can have set A, and I will now number them from 6 to 10 just to make sure that I'm
there. We go.
7 anyway, we're getting the right way. So this is question number 6. This is a brand new set of 5, and what tends to happen.
Oh, you've got a Plymouth Argyle season ticket holder in the chat.
I've just seen that. I don't. That rings a bell, though. I think Patrick has mentioned that before. I think I know that. I think I knew that he was an Argyle fan. So.
He's suddenly gone down in my estimation. But anyway, carry on.
Yeah. Number 6. My round of 5. What tends to happen with me is there will be a connection to these 5. I'll just keep it a little bit quiet as to what it is. You don't have to get the connection. You just have to answer the 5 questions. But both of these sets of 5 have got a little mini connection, but this is mainly in my brain. But the quicker you can work out what I'm doing, it might help you out. Anyway, Number 6. Who played, and we want his wrestling name here, who played the Ayatollah in the film The Wrestler? So that's the is it Aronofsky? Is that how you say his name? Darren Aronofsky film of around 10 years ago or so, a little bit more, starring Mickey Rourke, who played the character known as the Ayatollah in that film. He was a wrestler. What is his most well-known wrestling name? That's the question for number 6.
Well, we've started a football thing in the thread, by the way. You got the Darren Aronofsky pronunciation just right, but I'm sure you got the Ayatollah pronunciation wrong.
What do you mean, Ayatollah?
It's Ayatollah of rock and roller.
Well, that might be how Jericho says it. It's not how Jericho did not invent the word Ayatollah. It's the Ayatollah.
Are you sure?
Ayatollah,
Are you sure?
Ayatollah Khomeini. It's I know it from the news, not from wrestling. That one.
Okay, fair enough. Anyway, we've got some interesting teams. We've also got a Nottingham Forest fan. We've got a Gateshead fan. That's pretty cool. Bradford City.
I've seen Gateshead play over the last couple of years. Arsenal.
I know Charlie's written a bit for Arsenal, so that's cool. I'm a Grimsby Town fan, if nobody else knows. Yeah, Patrick, sorry, mate. The reason I have to rag on Plymouth is because my neighbour is a Plymouth fan, and Rob used to work for Plymouth, so I am duty bound to give them some shit. So nothing personal. I actually quite like them. I actually texted Rob the other day to say how much I liked your new kits.
You did actually.
They are sexy as. Anyway,
well, as Patrick will know, that we were going to win the league 3 years ago at Grimsby Town, and we drew with you 1-1 and ruined my big day. And funnily enough, here's the trivia point, Patrick and others, is that the person that was the pitch side announcer that day for Grimsby Town was Richard Young, who is the hooked-on host for our shows in the Grimsby and Cleethorpes area. So there you go.
There you go. Right. Answer to this question, Ernest the Cat Miller.
Okay, that's what Paul says for number 6. Here is number 7. This is a tricky one. Which 6'9" wrestler inducted Bobo Brazil into the Hall of Fame in 1994, and then the following year was inducted himself by Bobo Brazil? So in 1994, this 6'9" wrestler was inducted. He was the one that inducted Bobo Brazil into the Hall of Fame, and then the following year, Bobo returned the honours, inducting this man. Who is he, please?
Well, I know your theme, and I nearly went with the same one myself. So it's a good job I didn't in the end.
You don't necessarily know my theme.
Yes, I know your theme. I know your game, McNichol.
Yeah.
There's no need to pussyfoot around it. I know exactly what you're going for.
Oh, meow. I had to do it. So yeah, it's a clause in the contract.
Oh dear. Right. I will just give it a few more seconds before I give answer. I can hear my phone still buzzing, so I won't go in just yet. I think I know, without looking, I think I know what a lot of people will have said. If they haven't got the theme, I think I know a lot of people would have gone. Their immediate thoughts would have drifted someone different. But I'm going to say, well,
I don't know who you mean. I'm trying to work out who you mean. But
I think people might have immediately, a big guy in that era, I think people might immediately think Big John Studd. But I'm going to say Ernie Ladd.
Okay. Is that my favourite thing? I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just because you've obviously just said that out loud, so I can follow this up. But my favourite thing about that is that I think that is the wrestler who is most popular with elderly northern men. Because I would think that most pubs that you go to in Yorkshire, at some point, someone would say, "Ernie Ladd, would you like a drink?"
Oh dear me.
Anyway, number 8. I'm going to make sure these get worse, these jokes, as the night goes on, because when we did good ones, Patrick didn't like them. So now I'm going to do worse ones. Maybe it'll turn the tables on him. Number 8. Who wrestled in Japan under the name Lion Do? Who wrestled in Japan under the name Lion Do? Lion, new word, D-O. Might be Lion Do, but I think it's Lion Do. Lion Do, who was, again, how do we better know that wrestler? You don't have to get his real name necessarily, but how is that wrestler most well known?
I think I know this. I'm not 100% certain it's him, but I think I know it.
When you get a new cat, Paul, do you have to sort of prove to anybody that you're worthy of having it? Is it like an adoption thing that you have to prove that you're worthy of having a cat? And do people come around to your house and make sure it's okay?
No. I do a video of the house to make sure I live in a suitable house and I'm not on a main road, and then I tell them how nice I am, and they give me a cat. It's awesome.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. I just wondered if you had to fill out a whisk assessment. They asked for it. They're gonna get worse. Southampton. Oh, keep it safe. I thought it was gonna be.
Oh dear. Next time, before they start like ragging on your joke, maybe they'll give pause for thought before they start criticising your humour.
Okay.
Right. Okay. I am going to say, purely based on nicknames and whatnot, I'm going to say Chris Jericho.
Okay. We're going to stay in Japan, and we're going to sort of flip this around a little bit. So I'm going to give the name of the real name of someone, and I'm going to ask you the gimmick that they went under. And there was more than one person that had this gimmick. Okay, so question number 9. Satoru Sayama was the first what?
Okay.
Satoru Sayama was the first what? That is the question. And a little bit of tidying up around it is that this was a gimmick. I'm asking basically what gimmick he had, and there was more than one person that had this gimmick, but he was the first. So Satoru Sayama was the first what?
74 minutes in. Do you know what? On the football scene, do you know what's been the biggest revelation for me this week, Rob? The BBC have started putting the assists on their scores. When you look at the football score on the BBC now and you see the list of scorers, it also has a little line and then it says who's done the assists afterwards.
Okay, well, they clearly are recognising the fantasy football
exactly
audience then, because I don't really normally give a crap who does the assist, but that's obviously what people look for because they like their fantasy football. So it's sensible on their part.
Just to give you a little heads up, and I thought this was obvious, but maybe we should have mentioned it. But answering after us is it's a bit of a shady area because of the way that the connections and stuff go. People today, it does count if you answer after us, but do understand that we're not always right. And just to unveil the curtain a little, just to pull back on the curtain a bit, we may or may not give a few deliberately wrong answers during the week to stop people doing that. So don't always trust what we're saying. We might throw in one or two red herrings.
Yeah, that's what I was doing in the first round.
You used to do four, mate. You threw four red herrings in.
I am very, very convincingly giving wrong answers as well.
Yes, you are. Very convincingly
I've been doing so for about 9 weeks. Such is my commitment to this project.
That's it, mate. I respect it endlessly. So my answer on question 9 is Tiger Mask.
Okay. And number 10. This is the last of mine for the time being before we flip back over. Number 10, what was the TNA name of the wrestler who had a short-lived WWE run as Braden Walker? What was the TNA name of the wrestler who had a short-lived WWE run as Braden Walker? That's that question. You don't have to have got the connection. You don't even have to add the little bit that gives you the connection. But there is a slight one here that's been rolling through these first 5 questions, and there's if you haven't by now worked it out through the questions and indeed the attempts at humour, there's been a sort of slightly feline thing going through this opening. Well, my first 5 questions.
Bobby Fish.
They're having their own conversation in the chat. Yeah.
I love it. Oh dear.
So how are we doing on this one? I think you've got this one, haven't you?
Yeah. I can't hear my phone buzzing anymore, so I will give the answer to this one. It's Chris Harris, and the connection is that his nickname in TNA was Wildcat.
There we go. Okay. Are we ready to do the answers then? I think we can go through those 5 and just to clarify.
Chris Marden says he's feeling good about his chances in that round. You've done this. You have done this.
What's that? I've created.
You've unleashed the cat pun monster.
No, if there is one thing that the internet will not stand for, it is cats and puns. You never see those kind of things anymore. Francis has done 2 puns based off of milking it.
Yep.
Which is actually him milking it.
He's done milking the milk puns,
and it shows that he is absolutely lapping it up. So okay, what should we do? Should we do some more questions?
Well,
this is way more entertaining than the quiz, isn't it?
Some answers would be good.
Right, let's do some answers then. So number 6, who played the Ayatollah in the film The Wrestler? You said
Ernest the Cat Miller.
Ernest the Cat Miller. We'll be friendly on these answers, folks. So if you put Ernest Miller, or even if you just put the cat, we would probably give you the answer for that one. Mr. Perfect is a good suggestion from someone. That works in my accent better than yours. It's going to be Mr. Perfect.
Adam's got 4 cats and Big John stood. I like that. That sounds like a hell of a party.
It feels like that old Westlife and Mariah Carey joke. Number 7, which 6'9" wrestler inducted Bobo Brazil into the Hall of Fame in 1994, and then the following year was inducted himself by Brazil? It was, Paul.
The big cat, Ernie Ladd.
It was. Again, once again, if you put Ernie Ladd, that's the answer. That's okay for a point. The reference was there. The big cat, Ernie Ladd, as he was known. Fantastic, big star of his era. Big cat, Ernie Ladd. Somewhat more talented than his big cat namesake, Mr. Hughes. Number 8, who wrestled in Japan under the name Lion Do?
Chris Jericho, I think.
Chris Jericho is the correct answer. Obviously, in this case, the cat is the cattiness is in the question with the lion being in there. And I think you weren't certain, but I think you went down the road of the fact that he was Lionheart and worked in Japan. I think that's where you went, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't a difficult leap.
No, where he went as
and I landed on my feet, question-wise as well.
Well, Corazon de Leon, wasn't it, in Mexico? And so the adjustment in Japan was Lion Do. Staying in Japan, Satoru Sayama was the first
Tiger Mask.
Tiger Mask, he absolutely was. Spent some time wrestling over here, I believe, as Satoru Sayama before he took that Tiger Mask gimmick and made it very, very successful. Number 10, the TNA name of the wrestler has short-lived WWE run as Braden Walker.
Wildcat Chris Harris.
As Paul says, Wildcat Chris Harris. And once again, Chris Harris is enough for the point there. You don't need to have said Wildcat, but that was the reference that could have brought you in. So my catty round of 5 is over. I think you got all of them, Paul. Well done. And with, on my clock, 82 minutes and 45 seconds at St. Mary's, with the score being 1-0 to Southampton, let's bring back, probably with no fingernails, Mr. Chris Hatch.
How's that squeaky bum, Chris?
Right. Oh, it's not going to hold at this rate, mate.
Let's hope it does, eh? Just for the duration of these points. We do not want you fouling yourself live on air.
Right, bonus points. Will Kitchen, 3. Patrick Heafield, 3. Chris Marden, 3. George McMenemy, 3. Martin Richards, 2. Stephen Bradley, 1.
Very nicely spread out there, guys.
Yeah, do you want it again?
Yep.
Yep, Will Kitchen, 3. Patrick Heafield, 3. Chris Marden, 3. George McMenemy, 3. Martin Richards, 2. And Stephen Bradley, 1.
Fantastic, mate. Thank you very much. Mick Connolly thinks he should retire Meow, and I think we should definitely retire the cat puns.
Before we carry on, though, is there not something that we have to do in this?
There might be. Chris thought we might have forgotten that. I think he was trying to get away. I saw him pushing the screen closed. But you're right. Isn't there some sort of tradition that we've worked with over the last 3 weeks that we should probably attempt to carry on in some form or fashion? Chris, you up for that?
Go on then. Go on. Distract me.
Rob,
I think it's your turn, mate. I think it's your turn.
Well, actually, I've had the idea. I had an idea of what I was going to throw at Chris tonight, but I've changed my mind during the show. Just so I know I can keep him on his toes, I have changed my mind because you were talking at the very start of this, weren't you, about the if you send something into Chris at the start, so when you were sending in your answers, you're checking that your line works. What does he do, Paul? He sends you back a thumbs up. He does. So I think that he should be the king of the thumbs up. I think he should be Orange Cassidy. I'd like to see Chris Hatch as Orange Hatchedy.
Orange Hatchedy. Orange Hatchedy.
You've had enough of me upstaging you because you've come up with someone who doesn't talk.
That's probably his idea, Chris. Professional jealousy is a profound thing, isn't it? So it's quite...
Right. Okay.
Enjoy that.
To be fair, there are 5 minutes to go. There's 5 minutes plus injury time left of the football.
Yeah. So I can see Sarah running around the house like a loon now.
I am saying I would allow it if he didn't do this until the end of segment 4 rather than 3, because if you asked me to do something during the last 10 minutes of an Argyle match, you would get stuffed, basically. I just wouldn't do it. So I would let him off if he doesn't have it done until the end.
We'll leave that up to Chris. He'll surprise us when he pops in. Mate, enjoy the last few minutes, mate. Up the Saints.
Okay, stay in a minute.
Did you know, Paul, that an anagram of Chris Hatch is Rich Cat? I've worked that out during the
now I do.
Now the cat stuff is done. No more cats.
Yeah, yes, no, we are end right. Cool. Right, let's go on to it. So I've stuck with the team theme for my last questions, and I'm going to give you the name. Well, two wrestlers, and I want you to give me their tag team name. Okay. They were all known as, by a tag team name. Some formally, some informally. But they all had a very distinctive tag team name. So that's how we're going to play it, mate. Okay, if everyone's clear on that. So I'm going to give you two wrestlers, and I want you to tell me their team name. So we'll start.
I suspect these are going to be the ones that aren't as known as teams as normal. But for example, if you said Hawk and Animal, the answer would be Legion of Doom or the Road Warriors. I'm guessing you won't have done that question because it's a bit easy. But
correct. But you've got the right. You're on the right lines. So question 11. Robbie Rage and Kenny Chaos. Robbie Rage and Kenny Chaos.
Oh, I know who they are.
But do you know why they're here?
Very good. Very good. That is very good. You people, you know who I am. I've said this before on these sorts of the quizzes and indeed on the podcast, that there's a certain era of Nitro that I've been watching, and they've just appeared, basically, these two, in the last couple of weeks of Nitro.
Don't say anything more just yet, because we've only had a few answers trickling in.
Okay, I don't know it. I'm desperately trying to get it into my brain, and it's not coming.
Oh, really? So you know the guys, but you don't know the team
I know exactly
name.
who they are. I can picture them. I can see them. I can even tell you some of the people they wrestled. But I can't remember their tag team name. That's
impressive in its own, because I don't think Robbie Rage's mum knows who Robbie Rage is, to be fair. But hey-ho.
Well, I think I do anyway. I mean, I might have the wrong people, but...
Give us a guess. I think we've had the majority of answers in so far, so give us a guess.
No, I don't know. I think they might be something and something, but no, I can't offer anything. I really can't.
No,
I've got nothing.
Right, so that's an official.
The only names that are coming to me are names of other teams, which I've now got about three in my mind. I hope he asks those because I remember that as a team. But
well, keep those, but.
This might come to me during the round, but at the moment I've got nothing.
Okie doke. Right, question number 2. Question number 12. My apologies. I'm back to my old thing. Question number 12. Antonio Thomas and Romeo Roselli. Thomas and Romeo Roselli.
I think I know that. I think I shouldn't say too much, but I think one of them might have got...
Say nothing. Say nothing.
Say nothing.
Say nothing. 88 minutes, still 1-0. I'm not sure I'm more excited by the quiz or the football.
The football's actually not been as interesting in the second half. In the first half, Manchester City were absolutely battering Southampton, and Saints were holding on. In the second half, it's not been quite so one-sided. It's rather petered out. As indeed is my quizzing. I got 1 out of 5 in the first lot, and then when you asked me a question which I clearly know. The first one is still bothering me. I know this second one. The first one is still bothering me.
Well, let's have the second one then. Give us the answer to this one, and we can move on swiftly.
I think Romeo and Antonio are the heartthrobs.
Okie doke.
I'm not absolutely certain of that, but that was the name that came to me first of all. And I have a feeling that one of them has gone on to be someone else and done quite well for himself under another name. I might have that asked about face as well.
Not that I'm aware, but if anyone can correct that in the comments, that'd be really interesting, actually, because I didn't know that.
I thought one of them might have gone off to Japan. Oh, advertising. I thought one of them might have gone off to Japan as a new person, but
you might well be right. I
might be thinking of someone else.
Okay, question 13. Marcus Bagwell, and I could say about the name of about 17 different guys now, couldn't I? Marcus Bagwell and the Patriot.
Oh, I thought I was going to get to sing the song.
You can anyway, if you like.
See,
Marcus...
you've done it. It's happening again.
What is?
I'm having a terrible night because I know who the pair of them are, and I know who they are, and I can't remember their name.
That's the idea. That is what makes it so funny.
But I know that, but it's not funny because I actually know these. These are just things that have gone out of my brain. I knew you were going to say that as well. Well, I suppose there was only a couple that you could have said, but I thought you might say Scotty Riggs, which you didn't, and then we can have a sing song. But I thought he won't say that because he'll know I'll say that immediately. So he'll say the Patriot. Oh no. See, this is worse than the first round because I just didn't know the first one. I was just spouting, and I just didn't know. You said Rey Mysterio, and I went, yeah, whatever. Mountie could be. These I know these answers, and it's not.
Well, just for Sarah says that's a T-shirt #Hatchmas, but I've no idea what she means. What's a T-shirt? What's the slogan?
I think she means Orange Hatchety.
Orange Hatchety. Yes. Got you. Can be arranged in our new merchandise range launching this week. Right, give us an answer, mate. Give us an answer. Marcus Bagwell and the Patriot.
No, I think it's something to do. It must be something to do with America, but I haven't got anything. I will say the American males.
American males. American males. It's not. Anyway,
of course it's not. Question, I know it's not. But
at least it gave us a reason for.
I've got the first one.
Right. I might be a bit late. Now.
I've got the first one. I'll save it for when you're doing the answers. I've remembered the first one.
Okay. Well, you can save face, but not get the point if you get it right. So, question number 14: Stevie Ray and Big T. Stevie Ray and Big T.
I mean, I know who those people both are.
90-second minute.
Still hanging on at the moment. Couple of minutes to go in the football. Oh, this is very WCW heavy here, aren't you?
It is very. And it wasn't deliberately WCW heavy, but they were. And I won't lie, the fifth one's WCW related as well. But they were the best option.
As soon as you said this, I thought I know who I would have I know who I would ask if you'd said to me, Rob, do 5 questions on names of tag teams.
Well, maybe
I would have come up with one, and you've not said it yet. So I'm seeing if
maybe
you
can
ask number 5.
Maybe you can ask it to me as a bonus point after number 5 and see if
I don't know this.
You don't know the answer to this?
No, I don't know this, but I think I know the angle. I think with Stevie Ray, it was something to do with breaking up with Booker T, and then there was a match about the actual use of the letter T, wasn't there?
There was.
But
Go on, give us.
I don't know the. No, I'm tiptoeing my way around, not getting in trouble for stereotyping, but I had a feeling it might be something to do with. I'm thinking of Booker T's short-lived GI Bro thing, I think, but I thought it was something to do with bros or suckers or something like that. I think it might be some pun on one of the things that they said or did, but it's not coming to me. So I don't have anything.
Okay, moving swiftly on to the final question, question 15. Excuse me a second. Question 15. Kevin Nash.
Oh no, you're not going to say it.
And Diamond Dallas Page.
Yeah, okay. I think I might have this one.
Kevin Nash and Diamond Dallas Page.
I think I might have this one. I think there might be a story in it as well. Should I tell you the one that I thought you were going to say?
Go on.
Just to turn the tables on you, I'll give you the 2 people. I thought you were going to say. I suppose it's a bit of a giveaway because one of them's in the question really. I thought you were going to say Ice Train and Scott Norton.
Fire and Ice.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah,
that's why I thought that was. I
thought about it, but because Ice is in the name, and
Ice is in the name, so it doesn't make it such a good question. Then I thought you would go to a different era. I thought you might have gone to teams like Rhythm and Blues and the Dream Team and Strike Force and teams such as that, but you didn't.
I didn't. I went with WCW.
Okay, I think I have an answer for this one.
Go on then. I think you do too.
If it's not them, then someone else certainly did it. Right. I think it's I think it's a name that could be used for another team.
Okay.
I think another team used this name in another place later on. I think that Nash and Nash and DDP, you said, right?
Yeah.
I think they called themselves the Kings of Wrestling.
Okay. Fair enough.
And then years later, we saw that with Claudio Castagnoli and Claudio Castagnoli and
of course, yeah,
and Chris Hero.
Yeah.
So I think they were the Kings of Wrestling.
Okie doke. Right. Well, let's go through the 5. So, question number 11. Sorry, Robbie Rage and Kenny Chaos. You know it now.
It's High Voltage.
It is indeed High Voltage.
High Voltage. And it's over.
Danger.
At St. Mary's.
It's over. There's a celebrating Chris Hatch, and it is all over. Well done, Southampton. Right. Question 2. Antonio Thomas and Romeo Roselli, you said, were the Heartthrobs.
Yeah.
And you were quite right. They were indeed the Heartthrobs.
Did not one of them go on to be... I thought
apparently
one of them went on to have a good indie career, but I might be wrong.
No, apparently one of them became an actor and was in Rome, but that's as much success we got. Question number 13, Marcus Bagwell and the Patriot. You were right in that there was an American theme to this, but they were in fact Stars and
Stripes.
If you thought you'd kick yourself with that one, you're going to kick yourself even more with question 14, because Stevie Ray and Big T were known as Harlem Heat 2000.
Oh, sod off with that. That's a terrible question.
Oh, it's not. And question 5.
No, that's rubbish.
Yep. Question 5. Kevin Nash.
Basically like asking Hawk and Droz almost. That's a terrible question.
Pish posh. It would have been fine if you got it right. So anyway, question 5. Kevin Nash and Diamond Dallas Page. You said were the Kings of Wrestling. They were not. They were the Insiders.
Oh, I've never even heard of that. I've never heard of that. Well, they're not the King. I thought they were. I was
Kings of Wrestling. They were Jarrett, Hall, and Nash when they were in TNA. They called themselves the Kings of Wrestling. Yeah, so that's probably what you've gone there. So yeah, it was the Insiders. So that's the 5. So Rob, you got 1 again. You've got 2 right this week. You were too busy thinking about cat puns and not busy enough with your answers.
No, I just didn't
Shameful.
You could have done 50 of those Survivor Series questions, and I would have got about 3. I don't know anything about Survivor Series. It was pointless. Survivor Series. It's like watching football and knowing the scores of reserve games. It was utterly pointless.
Fair enough. Right. So let's go. Let's go to Hatch, a celebrating Chris Hatch. Mate, he's going to be buzzing, isn't he? Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
You asked for it, mate.
Oh,
that was fantastic.
Well,
and I had to cut him off. I couldn't bear to let him speak and like taint that in any way. That was so good.
I have several things to say to this. First of all, what a great shame he didn't do his little. He should have been kicking his wife in the shins. Is what he should have been doing. And secondly, that is the worst version of Bob Dylan's Subterranean Homesick Blues I've ever seen in my life. But other than that, wonderful, as Matthew Hardy would say.
Amazing. Well, let's just bring him back one more time for a quick round of applause.
Because no one knows who the fuck got the bonus points.
And also to say the bonus points. I love it.
Will Kitchen's name spelled wrong. My favourite thing was Patrick. It just didn't bother writing poor old Patrick Heafield's name.
Mate, you've outdone yourself again there, my friend. That was so good. So good.
Rob.
Please do, Sarah. Please do. Mate, that was outstanding. First of all, well done on Southampton.
Yeah. So I'll try and watch the end of it in a minute.
Right, mate.
Should we do some actual bonus points?
Let's have the actual ones yet.
Right, Will Kitchen 4, Patrick Heafield 4, George McMenemy 3, Chris Marden 2, Martin Richards 1, and Andrew Boland 1.
Well played, guys. One more time, if you don't mind, mate.
Yep, Will Kitchen 4, Patrick Heafield 4, George McMenemy 3, Chris Marden 2, Martin Richards 1, Andrew Boland 1.
I just can't stop laughing at the Orange Cassidy. Mate, Orange Hatchety, we'll see you later, mate. Thank you for that. Adios.
Bye.
If you are worried that we pick on him, and that we give him that sort of Orange Cassidy thing, first of all, just remember we are best friends. But secondly, we're not picking on him, are we? Because basically he's stealing the show. So I don't think this is. I think basically I don't want to be I don't want to compare ourselves to such people, but essentially. You and I are Ricky Gervais and Steve Merchant, and he's Carl Pilkington.
Oh yes,
only he's not an idiot. He's just a ref abroad rather.
And as far as I know, he's not abroad either. But yeah, anyway, that's by the by, mate. We will get him one of these weeks. We will get him where he stumbles, but it's not going to be this week.
What did he even have? I expected him to have sunglasses, but what did he have? What was that?
Some sort of casual jacket. I don't think it was denim, but it was close enough.
It wasn't denim, but fair enough. I've more respect.
Got him on a Sunday night.
To be fair, I've got more respect for the fact that he didn't have a denim jacket lying around. But well done, Hatchety.
These good people.
Fantastic. I'm going to turn my telly off now, so I'm not turning around and watching whatever's on.
These guys want their last 5 questions, mate. So
Shall we have 5 more questions?
Let's have it, and let's get them off to Betty Buys.
Right, here we go then. Okay, this is I shall number them. These are 16 through to 20. So just doing these. Same as my other 5, really. There's a little bit of a theme going through these, which I'm not going to tell you about. But you may or may not find them as you go. Number 16 for you, Paul. See if you can. Have you ever got all 10 before?
No, I got 9 last week, and that was the closest I've got.
I think so. I think forget trying to beat me because you've already beaten me and you've got 5 in hand. But but trying to get these 5 would be fun for you. So let's see. Number 16, and this I think is the trickiest question of the 5. Number 16, Wrestling at the Chase was a wrestling show that emanated from which city? Wrestling at the Chase was a wrestling show that emanated from which city? That was there for it was around for a couple of decades. Basically, I'm asking you which regional market it's in, but it's a city in particular that it came from.
I feel like I should know this, but it's not really clicking, to be honest.
Could have saved this for the one day if we ever managed to drag the beast Mark Labbett out of away from ITV. Is it not how you say it? Labbett?
Okay. Labbett.
Well, if we get him out away from ITV one day, then we can bring him here. I'll bring him that question again, the Wrestling at the Chase question. But,
Chase. I'm gonna get this wrong, and I'm gonna kick myself after I've done it.
Or you can get Chris to kick you, but it won't hurt.
Right in the shins. I've got very sensitive shins. Very sensitive. I've got protruding shin bones. They're very prominent. That's why I was never going to be a top line footballer. That and the massive abundance of lack of skill.
the abundance of lack of.
There you go. Yeah. Right. So the Wrestling from the Chase. I'm going to go with St. Louis.
Okay.
St. Louis is my answer on that one.
Any reason? Was there a?
Not really. Just No, there's not really any reason. Just that it fits the area. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Yeah. No,
Okay.
no rhyme or reason.
No, fair enough. I suppose we shouldn't really go into more detail in this segment. I just wondered. I could tell you were struggling, and then you were thinking, and then it's one you came with. Sometimes there's a
There was a few in my head, and I just kind of took a guess.
Links in your brain. Okay, number 17. Who is the general manager of NXT UK? Who is the general manager of NXT UK?
Oh,
that wasn't funny. Why was that funny, Paul Benson?
Oh, indeed. It's funny. It's just so funny, man. Just so funny.
Well, you don't need to think about that. The answers will be coming in, I'm sure. We're gonna have a little bit of a production meeting live on air now.
Go on.
The subject that I have down for our podcast coming next week. The last podcast we did, folks, by the way, we recorded during last week. Yeah, and we had a great time recording it. Hopefully, you'll enjoy it. It was the best manager the best wrestler non-wrestler combo. So a wrestler and a manager, or a valet, a tag team and a manager. We had great fun recording that. That's if you're watching this on YouTube now, you can hang around and you can watch the this on the YouTube feed, or you can listen to the podcast, download the podcast wherever. But after this next question, I'm going to talk to you about exactly how we're going to do next week's question, because I have the question, but it's a bit nebulous, and I want to make sure that we pin it down, so we can we'll have a little meeting on air about that one. So, your answer to number 17.
My answer to 17 is Johnny Saint.
Okay. Can you see where we're going? Number 18. How were CM Punk, Colt Cabana, and Ace Steel collectively known?
I'm never ever going to get this one right.
How were CM Punk, Colt Cabana, and Ace Steel collectively known?
Well, going back to the first question, though. I wasn't sure at the time, but I've decided I know where it's at. No? Tumbleweed?
Well, no, I can see that someone said I can't see the puns over these pure shores, but I don't know where that's coming. I don't understand. Oh, yes, I do. Sorry. Yes, I went the other way with that. I went beach with that, and I thought that's not a beach. That's not a beach thing, but here we go.
You went over when you should have gone under the bridge.
Yeah,
yeah.
Very nice. I don't really know any of their songs.
No. Anyway, the answer to your question was the Second City Saints.
Okay. You said I don't know. I genuinely believed you when you said you weren't going to know this. I actually thought, I might have got him with one. But
I said, I will never ever get this.
Oh, is that the joke? Was it? I'm missing the puns. I don't know a lot about that band you're talking about. So, obviously, I know that song, but it was
one of my favourites, mate. One of my favourites. Really? 90s pop fantastico. Go on.
90s pop fantastico. Wasn't he in Lucha Underground?
Speaking of, I've just bought a ticket this weekend to finally fulfil a lifetime's ambition, almost a lifetime anyway, 23-year ambition. Next
You're going to sleep with a lady?
I might
that doesn't work. You're married with a son. That doesn't work. Okay, carry on.
I'm going to see Aqua. Yes, I am going to see Aqua live on stage. It's been 23 years in the making. I'm finally going to get to see them. My name is Paul Benson, and I am a 90s pop musicaholic. I'm not ashamed. Let's have the next question.
Do you wish you hadn't admitted that?
No, I'm proud.
I do.
That's fine.
If only we could turn back time.
My oh my. We're going there, are we?
Let's go back to wrestling. Let's talk about wrestling. Let's go back to
the 80s.
You trod all over that. Let's go back to those cartoon heroes, wrestlers. Number 19.
Back to the 80s was Aqua's comeback song in 2009.
No one cares. Number 19. What is or was the working name of the Mexican wrestler who was born Rodolfo Guzman Huerta. He went into the 2018 Hall of Fame class in the WWE in the Legacy section. He was known for his silver mask, was a film star, and was arguably the biggest star in Mexican history. What is the working name of the Mexican wrestler born Rodolfo Guzman Huerta, who went into the 2018 Hall of Fame for WWE in the Legacy section? Known for his silver mask, he was a film star and arguably the biggest star in Mexican wrestling history.
Okay, well, I do know that. So while I'm waiting, I'm going to look up the festival.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you the question about the podcast, which I promised before. Now, next week, or some point in the next week, it is the anniversary of Bash at the Beach.
Right.
So I have down as our topic. Because I'm thinking in terms of Hogan returning as the third man. All I have written down as our topic for next week is best surprise, right? And that's too nebulous. So we need to work out: are we going to say best surprise return, best mystery partner? I think we need to decide exactly how we do this, and we can have the meeting live on air, and people can suggest it for us. So, what is our topic for the How to Be Great podcast when we record it on Tuesday or Wednesday or so of this week? Are we going to do best surprise partner / opponent, or best return, or best surprise generally? What do you think, Paul?
I think best surprise partner is a good one, actually. I think that's a really good, narrow focus one with a lot to talk about.
Just partner. So partner, not opponent, not return, but just surprise partner.
Well, surprise partner or opponent, I guess, because you're restricted to tag teams otherwise, aren't you? So let's say best mystery wrestler.
Well, see, mystery wrestler, does that then include the Rumble? And do we save mystery thing for when we have the anniversary of the Rumble? This is
no, I don't think so.
You start thinking of like Edge coming back and John Cena coming back and AJ Styles and stuff like that. So should we say mystery partner / opponent? Is that what we'll go with?
Yeah, let's do that. I do like, by the way, how Francis Reyes seems to have pun Tourette's. Just comes out with Dr. Jones. That's brilliant, Francis. I love it.
That's not a pun, though, is it?
I know. Just let's name the songs. Let's do that. Yeah. And I've got all the Aqua albums.
Here's a question. What real ale do Aqua prefer?
Go on.
That's a question for you. I've made it off my own back, so I have to sing it now, aren't I? What kind of real ales do you like?
Ones that aren't. Do you like real ales?
Do you like a best bitter, or do you like a lighter beer, or do you like an IPA? IPA, IPA.
Oh dear me! There we go. I've got you singing Aqua live on the.
Don't make this the last week of this quiz. Please come and see us again.
My work here is done. Right, answer to that question is El Santo.
Ooh. El Santo. Okay, and number 20, Susan St. James. It's in the question this time. Susan St. James was a guest commentator alongside Vince McMahon at which WrestleMania? Susan St. James was a guest commentator alongside Vince McMahon at which WrestleMania? This has got very, very, very pun heavy, isn't it? I mean, we like a pun, you and I, and we would often do it for a little bit. It has basically been all night.
Mate, when we first went into lockdown and I started doing those little watch-along parties we did for a few weeks, for the first few weeks.
They were fun. Bring them back.
They were fun. We never got more engagement than when we started doing ridiculous crap puns. It just set people off. Like, people just love it. Like, we should stop talking about wrestling and just do puns of the week. We get much more engagement. Anyway, Susan St. James. I genuinely don't know the answer to this. Genuinely don't know. So it's going to be a guess. It's going to be let me think. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just trying. I can't think of. I know which one I'm going to go for, but it's with so little confidence. Because early on in WrestleManias in this sort of era, they'd have Roddy Piper come in for one match, or they'd have Jim Duggan come in for one match early in the card and stuff like that. So I'm just going to say it was this one, and I've no idea whatsoever if I'm right, but I'm going to go for it anyway. So I'm going to say WrestleMania 5.
Okay.
So we're done. We're done. That's the 5. That is the 5 questions. And
It's the 5 questions.
I assume I've let myself down on the last question of the quiz.
Well, you
again.
assume you're going to throw a number out there, aren't you? And you know it. Well, I think you know it's an early one. So at least you can guess something at it. Right. Number 16. The official answers to the last 5 questions of the evening. Number 16. Wrestling at the Chase was a wrestling show that emanated from which city? Now, at this point, you had no inkling of what the theme was going to be or anything like that. Well, you might have done, but I don't think you did. So this is a very, very fair question. Well done for you getting it. So number 16, Wrestling at the Chase, you said, and indeed were correct in saying...
St. Louis.
St. Louis, as we tend to say. St. Louis, as they say in the States. But, yes, St. Louis. The answer, Wrestling at the Chase. The Chase being the venue. I nearly asked where would you find the wrestling venues, the Chase and the Kiel Auditorium.
I would have got that immediately.
Question at one point.
I think the only reason I sort of associate it was Harley Race. Actually, it was Harley Race, and I thought, where did he wrestle? St. Louis was somewhere he wrestled. So
that's just remembering things in rhyme. Harley Race, Wrestling at the Chase.
There you go. That's
how to do it. So who was the general manager of NXT UK?
That was Johnny Saint.
A fool he ain't, Johnny Saint. So that's how you remember them. Remember everything. There's a little bit of a little bit of a little thing like that. I can't do one for the next one because it's Saint again. Number 18. How was CM Punk, Colt Cabana, and Ace Steel known collectively? That's question 18. The answer, Paul.
Second City Saints.
Second City Saints. And number 19, the working. Be honest, you'd have got all these just on their own. If we'd have just. I'd have got. I would have. Yeah. And then 19, the working name of the Mexican wrestler Rodolfo Guzman Huerta, Hall of Famer now, probably the biggest star in Mexican history.
El Santo.
If you think of any wrestler in any country that you've ever heard of, El Santo is bigger.
Yeah.
That's the only way of describing it. El Santo is 5 times the star that Hulk Hogan is in America, 10 times the star that Big Daddy was in England. Just an absolute mega star, El Santo. And number 20, so you're 9 out of 9, aren't you?
I'm 9 from 9. Yes, I am.
So Susan St. James, Saint being in the question here, it wasn't WrestleMania Saint. Susan St. James. Do you know who Susan St. James was, by the way?
No, not really, no.
She was an actress. She was in a few American sitcom-y things in sort of the 80s. I think, Kate and Ali, I think it was one of them was called, or something like that. Kate and something or other.
That was kind of my thought, because I thought, right, I assumed she was an actress or a TV hostess or something like that. And I thought, right, probably one that Donald Trump was trying to woo. So
no. So you're thinking
4 or 5.
You're thinking another one. There was one of Donald Trump's wives was in there somewhere, or he was someone he was linked with. Maybe it was Marla Maples or something like that. There was
maybe
one of Donald Trump's partners is in there somewhere. But Susan St. James was married to, or I think still is married to Dick Ebersol.
Right. Okay.
Who is the TV executive that was, I think, was the NBC. Yes, and he was responsible for Saturday Night's Main Event. So that's the link. She was the actress wife of Dick Ebersol that worked on the TV side of things with WWE, and she was the guest commentator alongside Vince McMahon at one of the 3 venues WrestleMania 2. It was Susan St. James and Vince, and then it was off to who was the car? I'm trying to think of the. I know the last one was Jesse, Lord Alfred Hayes, and Elvira. Who I can't
Elvira, yeah, of course.
The middle one must have been Gorilla and someone in the middle one. I can't think of who the middle one was, but
don't know.
But that's it. So WrestleMania 2 is the answer. So once again, you have fallen short. I'm afraid the final hurdle.
But more importantly, how has everybody else got on? We need some bonus points from Hatchamania. Let's bring it in.
Hopefully he's ready, because obviously sometimes it takes a bit of time towards the end.
Yeah,
he is.
Are you all set?
Ready
Chris?
on our way to.
I'm as ready as I can be. Before I give these bonus points, I'm going to say I've done some quick maths. I think we've got a couple of massive scores tonight, and the bonus could affect the winner. So the bonus points I've got down: George McMenemy 5, Patrick Heafield 3, Andrew Charles 2, Chris Marden 2, Will Kitchen 1, Mick Connolly 1, Martin Richards 1. That's
wow.
5, Patrick Heafield 3, Andrew Charles 2, Chris Marden 2, Will Kitchen 1, Mick Connolly 1, Martin Richards 1.
Well played, guys. Some good scores, especially George. 5 out of 5. We don't often get a 5 out of 5. We've had 2 in one quiz, so that's pretty awesome. So, Chris, what's your thoughts on those point scores then? Let's see what you've got there.
So what I've got down now, please feel free to correct me if people on the in the comments have got higher scores, but I'm basing it on quick from bonus points. I've got 3 high scores of Will Kitchen on 27, Patrick Heafield on 32, and George McMenemy on 33.
Oh my goodness, they are the biggest scores we've ever had.
It is worth saying that actually when the quiz is quite polarizing, because I mean, first of all, brilliant scores, guys. Really well done. A lot of 5 out of 5s being referenced here and there from people, but also a lot of people saying, I really struggled there, 1 out of 5 or 2 out of 5. First of all, thank you to everyone for playing. We never make any fun of anyone for scoring badly or well. Sometimes it's because it's not. Listen, I was crap tonight. Of all Paul's questions, I'm generally okay at my wrestling knowledge. People in this room would beat me, but generally speaking, I would expect to get 6 or 7 of Paul's. I got like 2 tonight. So they weren't my kind of questions on his. I just really struggled, right? So it's, you have a bad night, that's just the way it goes. But what I will say is that when some people struggle, it actually makes the bonus points for those that do well raise even higher, because there will be fewer people that got them right. So those people that got 4 or 5 in the bonuses might well have got some of those because they were the only ones of a small amount of people that got them right. So that sometimes skews the scores, but no matter, fabulous stuff on some of those scoring. Brilliantly done.
Brilliant
by,
scores.
those people.
Anybody in that top 2 got any issue? Have we got a VAR inquiry coming in for Ref Hatch's scores, or do they tally with what you guys have got? Well done, mate. That was a true. While we wait for those to confirm, guys, thank you all so much for playing. As always, we love doing these Sunday night quizzes. Thank you for my partners in crime, Rob and Chris. Boys, both very different roles, both equally well played. Thank you so much for being with us again. And yeah, it's been a great night. We'll carry on doing this for the foreseeable future. The 3 of us really enjoy this, and we love the fact that we've got a nice group of regular people coming in and joining us as well now. So please spread the word, because we're egomaniacs, and the more eyeballs we get, the better. More than happy to do it for 10. Would rather do it for 100. But yeah, not much more to say. Obviously, I'm not going to go plug heavy like we always do this week. We have in terms of the announcement for the Civil War, we are now ready to go. I'm going to be cheeky. I'm going to save that for the website, and I'm going to make a post for it on the website and plug it on social media. So you will see that, but it's going to be announced on our site in the next 2 days. So keep your peepers peeled. Guys, Chris, anything you'd like to say before we leave?
No, I'm all good with that. I'm just grateful for you for putting this together as well, and everyone joining in. So,
well, it's a team effort between the 3 of us and everyone who joins in. We could not do it without any of us. We could probably do it without Leanne Culverhouse and Adam, but apart from that, no, everyone else. No, I'm kidding, guys. I'm joking. I'm joking, Rob. Don't look so offended. It's banter, mate. Banter. Right, Chris. Goodbye. Oh, don't know. I went all squeaky there. See you later, Rob. Tatty bye, everyone playing. Enjoy your evenings, and we'll set this up again for next Sunday night, 8 p.m. Ta-ta.
Cheerio.